It's been a while since we've done one of these damn things. Let's get real. Let's go. Last week I posed a question to, I guess, my audience, my network, simply as like, why haven't you hired me? Let's be blunt, brutally honest. Why haven't you hired me? Now, I asked this question for a couple of reasons. One, I really want to know, honestly. And two, I wanted to get some feedback to what's going on and why more people aren't hiring financial planners. I posed this question to the threads. And with threads, I asked, why are people hiring more coaches over financial planners? And we got some mixed results and some different ideas and comments that were come out. So today's episode, we're going to get into that. And I want to challenge you listeners and asking yourself why you don't have a financial planner or a financial coach. There are some badasses out there that are doing a really good job. Biased, in my opinion. You should have someone who is licensed and has the regulatory body that oversees us because it does protect you. But I digress. Let's get into it. I'm going to group some of these comments, and I might post some of them, but leave people out of them. But in general, these were the three, I'll go with three right now. These were the three big items or issues that popped up in the comments when I posed this question from different social media platforms. So it's very interesting. Let's get at it. First, Facebook, okay? I posted to a Facebook group and I posted to my personal. On my personal, a couple things were talked about and discussed. One, in general, was procrastination, and so they booked a meeting. That's completely fine. Procrastination happens. We're humans. It is what it is. The other was not feeling like they had enough money or they weren't set up yet in order to speak to me. That one's a tough one because in order to feel ready, you already have worked on your money mindset. You already have things going, right? Things are acting in a positive way. Well, that's a lot of what we do. That's a lot of our job is to help make that and get your back end going, understand what your mindset is, understand and set up and organize your financials in a way that it will grow, positive things will happen, and you can take opportunities as they come, as opposed to I'm sitting here negative, I'm feeling bad, depressed, what have you. Once I get feeling better, I'll hire someone. It's ass backwards. We got to flip that thinking, and I challenge you to do so. The other was a Facebook group I'm involved with, and that one was totally spun differently, right? The comments were, you don't know who you're talking to, your audience, you don't know exactly who you're speaking to, you need to take a softer approach, it sounds AI, those types of things. And the biggest question of like, what is it you actually do? And I took that one and I was like, well, damn sure I'm not doing a good enough job of saying what I'm doing. So this is why we're doing a Let's Get Real episode. We talk about what we do a little more, but it helps me change my content. The other is I speak a certain way and I'm not going to apologize for it. I am very direct. I am telling people that they need to get off their ass and get going, get moving. I am saying that, hey, yeah, you've had bad luck in life, you've had trauma, but there's ways to move forward. I'm not going to change that because those types of people that need that push are the ones that are going to want to be my clients. I can't be here for everybody. We've said this time and time again. I'm only going to have maybe 40 clients, give or take, under me, right? If we expand and we have other advisors, stuff like that's different. But within me, I'm only about 40. My collective, yeah, I've got a lot of badass planners, but they all have their different niches and people that they want to work with. So we're not here for everyone, but the content is, the education is. All right, so we've got two different feels with Facebook. Twitter sucks, they don't respond ever. Threads, on the other hand, seem to be jumping down of a coach versus a financial planner. And what's better, what's not, and I didn't really ask that maybe correctly or didn't want to go into a coach versus planner fight, but traditionally they are right. Advisors suck. They only cared about money and investments and stuck to that. They didn't care about emotions. They didn't get into the behavioral side of things. And so I challenged everyone on that thread. It's changing. The collective we have at No BS Wealth, the badass list of CFPs that I know, we do things differently. We're focused on the behavioral finance. We're focused on your emotions, your mindset first, before even thinking about a plan. And that kind of gets back to the comments that we heard on the Facebook side of things of, well, we don't know what you do, or I don't feel like I'm ready for it. That's the thing, that feel part. That's what we're here for. We're gonna help you, right? And I want everyone to, I talk about this a lot, but I want everyone to just pause real quick and answer this question. What's your first money memory? It's going to be something about your childhood. And as you reflect on it, now that you've said it and thought about it, how has that affected you as an adult? How has that grown with you over time? And I almost guarantee your emotional point of money will revert back to that time period. For me, it was like when I was 9 or 10. And so I come back with my 9 or 10-year-old self. For you, whenever it was, that's who you turn into around money. So you tell me if me at 9 and 10 years old could overcome something like that and is going to get good enough or further enough in life to then hire someone like myself. It doesn't work like that. We need to help you on the front end. That way we can protect you in the long run. We can't protect you in the long run when things and mistakes have already happened. So think about that. So threads went back and forth on coach versus not coach. Yeah, I'm gonna give you my opinion because that's what I do, and it's let's get real. And my opinion is there are some really good coaches. Don't get me wrong. There are some really bad financial planners and advisors. There's really bad coaches. All of that is true. However, we're able to give advice and implement plans with you and do all the things that coaches can do, but with the protection of regulations, the protection of our securities license that will help in case something does go bad. Guess what? You have somewhere to sue. We also have the training, the designations, and some more experience in that realm from the book side of things, of course, than other coaches. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some really good coaches that have been through tremendous things in their life that are really good at teaching a certain way. They're not also designed for the bigger holistic picture. Can you have both? Absolutely. But in my opinion, a lot of us are transitioning to the holistic side of things. Your financial planners are becoming, quote unquote, coaches, but we're just consultants. We're dealing with the behavioral side of things. So that's my advice on that whole topic. And then LinkedIn. LinkedIn's about cost. That's really what it came down to. So at the end of the day, cost is always going to be your biggest issue. You think you're not ready. Thirdly, you just don't know what we do. So I'm going to take some time to try to explain what we do, and it's not easy. I try to market this. I try to speaking about it. It's really difficult. And my clients that are listening, if you want to comment on this, you can. But it's more of a feel situation when it comes to Black Mammoth and our Modern Family Office, right? I know we're on Let's Get Real channel, no BS Wealth. I get it, but at Black Mammoth, we focus on you. First and foremost, we're gonna figure out who you are. What brings you joy, right? Thank you, Larry Sprung, on that one. What brings you joy? How does that align with what you need to do? Then we can build a plan and make decisions based on that. What you didn't hear me say is anything about insurances, your investments, estate planning, what are all the other terms, tax planning, tax returns, business consulting, CFO work, CO work. You didn't hear me say all of those things. Because first we gotta know who you are, where you came from, what traumas you have. Some of my newer clients always go through this battle up front, and that is married couples, if you will, business owners, if you will. One grew up one way, right? Usually in survival mode with their family. The other grew up in kind of a middle class, always had money around. Those are two fundamentally different mindsets when it comes to money. And it's really tough to combine those unless you do the work. We're here to do some of that work. Then how does that back into everything that's going on? Yeah, we're gonna do the tax planning stuff. We're gonna get ahead of that so you know what's coming down the pipe. At least 2 tax planning meetings directly related to that, so you know when your tax bill is going to be. Or we can implement tax strategies. We are going to do your legacy plan and update that every time it needs updated. Not 10 years down the road and after we have kids or business changes. Literally every time. Yes, we're going to make sure that your employee benefits, whether you are the employer or you work for someone else, that are ideal for you and your situation, not for everyone else. Yes, we're gonna talk about investments and how they fit into this whole big picture. Yes, we're gonna be there when you need a lender for a business opportunity, a car, a home, you name it. Yes, we're gonna be there to implement that. Yes, we're gonna be there for you business owners that wake up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning and you're like, so much going on in your brain and you don't know how to get it out. Go right ahead, type it into Slack. We'll answer you tomorrow. Yes, we're gonna be there when 4 of your staff decide to quit, half of your business gets interrupted. Yes, we're gonna be there when the growth is so fast you don't know what to do or how to operate. Yes, we're gonna be there when the IRS decides to give one of those scare tactic letters out that we all get and we don't know what to do with. We're gonna be there to answer it for you, to call me right away. You tell me where in that falls under coaching, that falls under financial planning, the CFP. I don't know, okay? That's why I have the Modern Family Office, and that's what we talk about. It's simply because that's what it entails, and entails everything in your life. All the emotions, the relationships, the things that grow with you. It's not a line item, a service item that you can see on a website. It's something that you feel and hear. And my clients, that's what they do. So yeah, have I done a poor job of explaining all of that? Abso-freaking-lutely. How do you do that in text? How do you do that in videos? You don't. You take that leap of faith. You trust me, trust my team to be here for you. And when those things happen, we're here. You start to feel that. You start to understand the importance of a Modern Family Office. That isn't just a coach or a financial planner or advisor or insurance agent, you name it, because we can see it all and we can do it all for you. So that's another Let's Get Real episode. One that hits a little more heart to me. Haven't been around in a while, but hey, we are back. We're back with more energy. We're back with more direct things like this. And yes, we will talk about what's going on geopolitically and how that potentially leads us to a recession. Or are we already in one?